So if you're considering moving to the Houston area, you've probably heard a lot about Katy and Sugar Land. Hey, and rightly so. They're awesome suburbs of Houston, but Richmond, probably not a whole lot. And so in this video, I'm going to share with you why you may want to put Richmond at the top of your list. So I find that Richmond has a nice blend of suburb and country feel. You know, you really have some opportunity to find some homes on larger lots. So it's not like you're just right next to your neighbor. And so that is pretty awesome, pretty unique. Now, don't get me wrong, they do have some really great master plan communities with, you know, regular home lot size between 6,000 and 10,000 square feet. But out here in Richmond, you have more neighborhoods, especially some luxury neighborhoods that have larger lots. The other thing too is that I find that you can get a little more bang for your buck in Richmond. You know, same home here versus, you know, out in Katy or Sugar Land or Woodlands is going to be 5, 10, 15, 20% cheaper many times just because, you know, land's a little bit cheaper, it's easier to build. And so I find you do get a little more bang for your buck. So Richmond's located right in between Katy and Sugar Land, and a lot of people don't really think about it just because it doesn't have like a major roadway that leads right to it. You know, Katy has I-10 and Sugar Land has 59 or 69, whatever it is. And, you know, Richmond's right in between, you know, does have access, and some parts of it right there are right on 59. But otherwise, there's not like a road that goes directly to it. You know, there is West Park Tollway to the north of Richmond. So if you need to get into the Galleria rather quickly, I'd say live on the north side of Richmond. Or if you need to work, you know, Sugar Land or Med Center, definitely live on the further southern part, closer to 59 or Old Highway 90. So you do have some good access to get in there if you're in those locations. But otherwise, you know, if you need to commute to downtown Galleria Med Center, it's going to be a bit of a drive. If you need to get to Katy, West Houston, Energy Corridor, Memorial City, you know, Sugar Land, you're going to have a little bit of a better commute. So one thing to know is that Richmond is actually a twin city. The Twin City is Rosenberg. So here in Houston, when we talk about the actual city of Richmond, you'll hear us say Richmond Rosenberg. Richmond has, you know, some nice parts to the downtown. You know, cool little shops. You know, there's a historic courthouse, some historic homes, fun little, you know, restaurants and coffee shops to go to. But, you know, outside that, you know, a lot of the homes and areas are a little bit dingy and not super great. So there are some really great schools in Richmond, and Richmond is zoned to 2 different school districts, Lamar Consolidated and Fort Bend Independent School District. Now both have a great rating and reputation. Fort Bend tends to have a little better of a reputation, but Lamar Consolidated is getting better and better. Currently, niche.com has them rated as an A-. And I love that you can find some A and B rated schools rather easily in most of the school district. And so that really adds to the appeal of moving out to Richmond. You get more bang for your buck and some great schools. So there's lots to do in and around Richmond. Some of my favorite things are the Brahmin Winery. It has you know, great wine and beer, and it's kind of a cool, relaxed vibe, great atmosphere. I recommend checking out downtown Richmond. There's some great restaurants and shops and coffee shops and bars. St. McGee's Sandwich Shop is great. Gino's Italian Joint, Unwind Wine and Spirits. Just some great stuff to check out. I also really like the George Ranch. I just took my kids there, and it's a historic ranch where the George family lived, and actually I think brought in one house. But it's 4 different properties, and, you know, 2 mansions, and one's like an old 1800s dog-run home. And there are people there from the foundation that actually dress up as people during that time period. And they give you a history lesson and talk about the George family and what's going on in Texas at that time. So it's super cool. They even had like a cowboy show and arts and crafts for kids. And so it was a was a great experience, but I definitely recommend going early, especially during the summer before it gets too hot. There's also the Brazos Bend State Park, which is a cool park because there's like a ton of alligators in the Brazos Bend State Park, and scared the heck out of me as a kid. And quite honestly, still scares me as an adult. But you know, it's kind of cool to walk around and watch the alligators, and you know, have it's a big park there, state park. So check that out. And obviously, there's so much to do in Katy and Sugar Land. You have lots of options there, and always head into Houston. So there's not a shortage of things to do here in Richmond. So to learn more about Richmond, check out these other two great videos to learn about the best neighborhoods and more about some great areas in Richmond.